We need to show you Facebook stock, which is really getting hammered here. It's down about 3% at the moment. Twitter is also down just about 0.25%. It brings the real social media discussion right under this microscope. And specifically, as we talk about both the alleged pipe bomb suspect who mailed weapons to Democrats and CNN, and then the Pittsburgh synagogue murderer who killed 11 Jewish worshippers, tweeted and posted, both of them, threatening, hate-filled comments before they acted out violently. In July, Israel's parliament, the Knesset, came close to passing a bill loosely known as the Facebook law, which lowers the threshold for what constitutes incitement to violence or terror. And what does that do? That would allow more arrests and prosecution of those who post hate before they act. Danny Danon is the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. He served in the military and has served as Israel's technology minister. Welcome, Ambassador. Israel is known for having among the very best security. And you've had to deal with anti-Semitism and violence against Jews for as long as Israel has been a nation. Open Israel's playbook, if you will. How does it handle social media posts that are seemingly very threatening?
Good afternoon, Liz. Condemnation, it's not enough. We saw the pictures from Pittsburgh last Saturday, and it's horrible. Now we have to ask ourselves what we can do to prevent the next massacre. It happened in Charleston in a church. It happened in Pittsburgh in a synagogue. What will be next? And social media is a key element in preventing the next killing.
How does Israel do it? Is it a government agency? What do they do with these sites? Is it the local police departments? Is it the military?
It's not easy. Israel is a strong democracy like the U.S. We do have freedom of speech, but we do not allow freedom of hate. And when someone is calling online, calling for violence against somebody else, that raises a red flag. And then the police will call the family, the neighbors of this individual, will investigate and will prevent. We prevented hundreds of incidents thanks to this policy. We cannot allow people to use the social media and the internet in order to promote violence.
The synagogue shooter, Robert Bowers, had posted anti-Semitic tweets and posts. He did it on a site called Gab, which, by the way, is now, although it billed itself as a free speech alternative to Facebook and Twitter, it is now offline. He wrote things like, "Open your eyes, filthy evil Jews bring filthy evil Muslims into the country." He also wrote something like, "Screw your optics, I'm going in," indicating he was going in somewhere to do something that would follow the hate that he obviously has put out. I don't know if we can put some of those up, but what would you do with follow me, I'm going in, or, you know, I'm going in type of
we found out that in many cases, those insane murderers, they announce before they commit the crime. They actually want people to know what they are going to do. And many times, if they are under the monitoring devices we developed, we are able to stop them. So today we have the technology to find the people, to know where they are going. And if you know that somebody is going to commit a hate crime, you want to stop him in advance. But in order to do that, you have to monitor. And I know it's sensitive, it's delicate, but you have to ask yourself, what do you prefer, the privacy of those crazy individuals or the safety of the majority?
Okay. It is very interesting that you say that they say it first before they do it. There is no better early warning signal of this kind of Homeland Security threat or threat against complete innocence than the rantings of people on social media. What technology does Israel have? And by the way, the Gab site is just offline temporarily, although PayPal has said it won't process payments right now. GoDaddy says, and these are both publicly traded companies, GoDaddy is saying, go find yourself another domain name. We will not carry you as a domain name anymore. But what kind of technology does Israel have that can algorithmically, or who knows, using AI, sweep through, sift, link these things with a potential murderer?
We have that technology, and we are willing to share it with the U.S. and with our allies. But the question is whether you do it through regulation from the government or you demand from the companies to do it themselves. We had that debate in the Israeli parliament, and I think we should do both. We should demand more from Facebook, from Twitter. They should have their own people checking those hate websites, checking those tweets, and actually paying attention to what's happening. And also the government must monitor individuals who should be on those lists.
What about that Facebook law? Israel's Knesset in July was set to approve this law that lowers the threshold for things like arrests and indictments of people who take a bullhorn or the echo chamber of social media and say how much they hate Jews, gays, whoever? And does it work both ways? I mean, if you see a Jewish person who is screaming and yelling about Palestinians, does it work both ways?
So there's a line between hate speech and call for violence. When somebody is crossing that line, that's when you have to interfere. That's when you have to send the police to knock at his door and to arrest him. And somebody can say he doesn't like Jews, doesn't like Muslims, doesn't like Christians. That's part of freedom of speech. But when he calls for action, when he says, I'm going in, we should kill those people, then the government must interfere and stop him from doing that crime.
Well, it is a horrific situation here, and it is the worst attack on Jews in American history. 11 innocents murdered, including somebody who made it through the Holocaust. What does Israel think about this?
You know, I had the experience to enter a synagogue in 2014 after a massacre happened in a synagogue in Jerusalem. And when you see those pictures of people coming to pray with the talit, with the Jewish custom shul, and then they are dead there, it is horrible. We have to do whatever is necessary to prevent the next massacre.
Ambassador Danny Danon of the United Nations, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.